Yo, what's up guys? Welcome to my channel DJ Kid. So in today's video, I really wanted to talk about Ethereum and Bitcoin and just try and understand if I feel like the flippening will take place, when it will take place, and take a look at some stats, some analysis and an update from Ethereum in terms of an upgrade that they have going on, and also just take a look at the market as a whole. So yeah, let's get straight into it. So in terms of the market is up 800 and, well, the market is trading at 899 billion. It's up 0.4% in the last 24 hours. You can see a lot of greens here in the top 10 at least. Bitcoin is up 0.6%. ETH is up 0.3%. And yeah, Cardano looks like that is down 2.2% in the last 24. And yeah, not really much movement elsewhere, I guess, but Solana is up, is down 3.4%. SHIB is down 3%. Avalanche is absolutely tearing it up at an increase of 13.3%. So yeah, it looks pretty good from a Avalanche perspective. Need to actually see what's going on with that, but yeah, overall the market from a full crypto perspective, not really much movement. A small increase of 0.4% in the market to as of today. So I know tomorrow we are expecting the CPI numbers. The forecast for the CPI numbers is 6.5%. The actuals for the prior month were 7.1%. So realistically, we need the CPI numbers to come in below that 6.5% to really see some bullish action in the market. But you know, if we're slightly above that 6.5%, then yeah, you know, we might see a fairly red day tomorrow, but potentially we could see a spike up after that. But yeah, we'll see how the numbers kind of play out as we head into the CPI results on the 12th. So anyways, in terms of Ethereum and Bitcoin, Bitcoin is currently trading at a market cap of 338 billion and ETH is 161 billion. So for ETH to overtake Bitcoin as it stands at the moment, you know, ETH has to double its market cap and hit that 338 billion. So I found a great tweet by an individual called Dan Smith, and he put together a great thread where he's looking at you know, the data points and kind of step-by-step analysis of when he feels like, you know, or why he feels like Ethereum will flippen Bitcoin. So let's take a look at that and we'll just quickly run through that together, because I did find it pretty interesting, and yeah, I wanted to bring it to your guys' attention as well, so you do have an understanding. Because obviously if there's gains to be made in ETH, then, you know, for some it might be a wise move to potentially, like for the next year or so, potentially even sell Bitcoin and look to load up on ETH, or sell a proportion of Bitcoin and look to potentially get more gains in Ethereum. But obviously, like I said, nothing in my video is financial advice, so please do your own research if you look to, you know, deploy those strategies. But yeah, let's take a look at that thread now. So Dan Smith put this together. The flippening is coming sooner than you think. Let me explain. So Bitcoin aims to be the global reserve currency. So it's pretty much just a store of value. Ethereum aims to become the infrastructure of global digital economy. So there's a lot more use case for Ethereum. That's, you know, his kind of number one point there. Number two, Bitcoin has never generated meaningful transaction revenue relative to its security budget, heavily subsidizing security with block rewards. So the current model is unsustainable and weakening its likelihood of becoming the global reserve currency. So obviously he's just talking about you know, the use case for Bitcoin is not really massive, I guess. It literally is just a store of value, and just yeah, you know, there's not really many transactions. You kind of buy Bitcoin, hold it, and kind of expect it to go up, similar to how gold works. Ethereum has become the base layer for the largest dApp ecosystem. So the network currently has 24.6 billion in DeFi, so total value locked, 84.7 billion in stablecoin. So a lot of funds being flown through the Ethereum ecosystem in DeFi and stablecoins as well. So huge amounts of money there in the dApp ecosystem. And so also I expect ETH will overtake Bitcoin before the end of the next cycle. Ethereum trails by about 150 billion in market cap, but has Bitcoin right where it wants them. Outperformance will be driven by strengths of its post-merge fundamentals. So obviously with the post-merge, Ethereum becomes deflationary, Bitcoin is still inflationary. So, you know, as the tokens start to burn away, there's going to be a lot more demand for ETH. And also with the whole proof of stake setup that ETH are now deploying, it makes it very attractive for you know, big time institutional investors to invest in Ethereum, because it is eco friendly, and it's, you know, it's green, environmental friendly, and that's the kind of assets that, you know, big players want to be holding, rather than kind of like that proof of work where it consumes a lot of energy and definitely isn't going to be sustainable longer term, I guess. And also Ethereum uses the proof of stake, so you can stake your tokens and earn rewards, whereas Bitcoin, you can't really do that at the moment. So yeah, that's also another major benefit. And here he's just kind of looking at the revenue, annual miner validators revenue, and what he's saying there is just basically Bitcoin appears to be pumping in that kind of area. ETH also is not really far behind, so ETH is actually doing fairly well. So you can see in 2021 ETH was actually above Bitcoin. 2022 it's below slightly, but yeah, ETH seems to be on a trending move upwards as well as Bitcoin, but a bit of a drop down in 2022. Obviously the bear market did kind of kick in from that point in time. So analyzing the revenue composition reveals the underlying issue. Bitcoin heavily subsidized security with block rewards. 95% of Bitcoin miners' rewards are from inflationary block rewards, while just 5% are real revenue from transaction fees. So it's not actually real revenue, yeah, it seems that these rewards are just basically block rewards that are being generated from you know, the miners carrying out those transactions. So proof of work here as well. Proof of work is energy intensive. That's kind of just what I touched on there. Bitcoin doesn't support smart contracts, so BTC is the only form of value that can exist on the network. So again, Ethereum, you know, Ethereum basically is dependent on all of these smart contracts that are running from it, and you know, it does a magnificent job with them running from you know, the Ethereum ecosystem. So you know, it makes it a lot more dependable, and the use case, as I was just kind of saying before, the use case is definitely a lot more for ETH than it is for Bitcoin. So here, just kind of in contrast, ETH is used as money to transact within a digital economy. So ETH, yeah, just pretty much used as money. Users pay for fees to transfer ETH, stable coins, and other tokens. So yeah, pretty much all of these tokens are dependent on ETH to make that transaction. Ethereum miner validator revenue breakdown, and here, so Ethereum's percentage of real yield increased along with the total revenue during the bull market, highlighting the reflexivity of the network. So yeah, here you can see pretty much the real yield is increasing year on year. Obviously in 2022 we saw a bit of a pullback because of the the bear market kind of kicking in from that point. So here he's just kind of dividing the year up into pre-merge and post-merge, so you can see what happened with the tokens that were released into the ecosystem, and from a revenue breakdown perspective as well. So after the merge, Ethereum validators earned 62% real revenue from transaction fees, ETH burn, and MEV payments. So you can see that on these statistics here. So yeah, overall, so let's just take a look at a few more points here. So the migration to proof of stake also led to a reduction of 1.7 billion of ETH emissions in just 117 days. So obviously that is very attractive, very green, And as I was saying before, you know, a lot of institutional investors look for this narrative when investing into assets and holding them on their balance sheet. So obviously bullish from a Ethereum perspective. And yeah, you know, the thread here is in detail. And what I'll do is I'll leave this link in the description below, so you guys can have a read of it in your own time as well. But I definitely did find it very, very interesting in terms of how Dan Smith kind of breaks this down. And if we just take a look at the ETH numbers, so this is after the proof of stake being deployed. So here you can see supply change since merge, 118 days. Only 2,329 ETH have been released to the ecosystem. Whereas if you put this on simulate this on a proof of work network, and let's just do that, it would have been 1.4 million ETH. So 1.4 million new ETH in the last 118 days. Whereas with this burn-in mechanism, Ethereum is like massively deflationary. And you can see here, if I switch that back, you know, sometimes it's literally so deflationary, it's underneath the curve. So yeah, it's you know, I'm mega bullish on ETH. And just looking at these as well, it just makes me mega bullish in terms of when I look at these statistics. So I do, from my perspective, I do believe that flippening will happen. It's only a matter of time. Definitely come the next bull run, I truly believe that ETH will flippen Bitcoin and become the #1 cryptocurrency out there. And just to update you guys as well, there is a Shanghai upgrade that Ethereum are looking to run. So Ethereum staking tokens rally as Shanghai upgrade nears. So I think this was scheduled for March, but I'm not too sure, and I'll have to get the dates and just, you know, let you guys fill you guys in on what the dates are for the Shanghai upgrade. But basically what this means for ETH is that, so people were staking their ETH, and you know, they were staking their ETH wherever, but there wasn't any way for them to unstake that ETH. So basically your ETH was being staked and just being locked away, so you didn't really know when to unstake that ETH. So what's happening with the Shanghai upgrade is that now the capability of unstaking ETH will be allowed. So, you know, investors will be able to stake ETH and unstake ETH when they want to. So yeah, that's mega bullish news, because if we take a look at the crypto staking platforms, so the ecosystem, so if we look at Ethereum here, in terms of their staking ratio, only 13.8% of ETH was actually staked. Whereas if you compare it to some of the other chains, Cardano 72%, BNB 97%, Solana 71%, you know, Avalanche 62%, and only 13.8% for ETH. And that was because, you know, individuals didn't want to stake their tokens away without knowing when they're going to be getting their ETH back. So yeah, there was probably some mixed emotions in terms of staking there. But, you know, now having Shanghai upgrade approaching us, I believe that, you know, a lot of individuals will be staking their tokens because they know that they can literally unstake at, you know, whatever given time if there is a lockup period, but they'll have a date in mind of when they're, you know, looking to unstake. Whereas at the moment there isn't any of that. So yeah, it only makes me a little bit more bullish for ETH, and they seem to be doing the right things at the moment. So mega bullish on ETH, and truly I believe that that flippening will happen. I mean, hit me up in the comments below, guys. Let me know what you think about ETH. Let me know if you feel like it will flip Bitcoin, or if Bitcoin's going to be the dominant cryptocurrency. And yeah, hit that like, hit that subscribe. Check out my Patreon. I normally post quite a lot on there in terms of, you know, what videos I'm going to be dropping, and a lot of the tokens that I'm buying at the moment. So yeah, check it out, guys. Support the channel, and I appreciate every one of you. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, and I will catch you in the next video. Peace out.